wasn't able to glare. Oh. So, long time no see. 3.5 weeks exactly. A lot of things have happened, obviously. I colored my hair brown. Tried coloring my hair as close as I possibly could to my natural color and my roots. I did an okay job, but I had this really weird thing happen to where I had blonde from probably about right here all the way down, and then all my roots grew out. And I was like, I'm getting kind of sick of the way it looks, like whatever. And so I ended up just getting me a couple of boxes of just basic brown hair coloring, and I put it over, and it turned out good. Like, it turned out okay. But I didn't realize that I bought a semi-permanent, and I didn't realize I bought like the crappiest semi-permanent I could get, and so it drained like really, really quickly. And so now it's faded like a lot, and it's only been washed maybe like 3 or 4 times. But it's no big deal. I'm not worried about it. I really just enjoy the fact that it matches my roots. So I'm trying to take I'm trying to kind of blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to take a break from bleaching my hair this year, 2022, because I bleached my hair for 2020 and 2021, and I think my hair is just like done because I've lost a lot of length, and it broke off a lot in 2021. It was more or less getting towards like the autumn, and it was just busting off. Like, it's just like there's sections of it that are really short, and it's damaged. It's really damaged. So I'm just taking a break, and I'm just letting it do its thing and whatever, just let it grow out. And my goal is to let my hair get about right here, and then I'm going to cut off all the damage and fix it. But anyways, it's not the reason why I wanted to make this video. So there's been a lot of changes that have happened. That was one of them. The other change that happened was about 3.5 weeks ago. Me and my whole family were struck down with COVID. My husband ended up getting it first. We weren't really sure if my 5-year-old had it first. We're like 95% positive that he did, because he ended up coming home from school and he was sick for like 2 days. He had like this really weird stomach problem. We thought it was just like the stomach flu. Like, we didn't think nothing of it, because he usually does get those kind of things around this time of year. And then that was it. Like, he didn't get a fever or anything like that. So we ended up, he ended up going to school and whatnot. Well, then a couple of days later, it was probably like 4 or 5 days later, my husband ended up coming down with, he didn't know we had COVID. He ended up coming down with body aches and pains, chills, a fever. He was just really tired and etc. And it got worse. So he ended up going to the hospital and getting tested. And of course, it came up positive. So after he ended up getting it, my littlest ended up getting it. He got it the day after Daddy caught it. So then I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I was taking care of my 3-year-old. I was taking care of my husband. I was trying to keep an eye on my oldest, because I wasn't even sure if he was going to get it or not. And then about the 2nd or 3rd day after my husband had caught it, the same day that my youngest had caught it, I ended up getting it, and I got struck down. I knew I was getting it because I could tell when I was in the shower. Like, I started getting body aches and pains. And my mom and dad had it in October, so they pretty much explained all the symptoms to me and like how it starts, and so I knew that's what it was. So for the past 3 weeks, for a good 2 weeks, I was sick. COVID lasted for about the initial symptoms, like the body aches, the pains, the fever. Mine lasted for about, I want to say 5 to 6 days, maybe 7. I was living off of Motrin and Tylenol and Mucinex. Those were like my top 3 things that I went to. My husband ended up living off of Tylenol and Motrin. He ended up getting the antibody, but I couldn't, because I don't have any underlying, which is a good thing. I mean, it is. I don't have any underlying health conditions. So I didn't qualify to get the antibody, but he ended up getting better. But then he ended up getting like these weird like side effects from it. He ended up like throwing up, and he got sicker. Like, it was really weird. My mom ended up having the same thing happen to her. She ended up in the hospital after she got the antibody, which I was kind of glad I didn't get it, because I was like, I'm just gonna, and the doctors even told me, they said, you're doing great. They're like, we're not worried about you. You're actually at the end of it. By the time I ended up going in, they were like, you're already at the end of COVID. So, and they were right, because a couple of days later, I ended up getting better. But the only thing that I don't have back is I don't have my smell back. I cannot taste anything. I have this weird like discharge, like I keep like a cough, and it doesn't come up all the time. And I'm very congested. I'm usually pretty congested in the morning, but it kind of goes throughout the day. Other than that, I don't have anything. I'm just, pretty much just like tired, really fatigued. But I guess like the full range of feeling better per se after you have COVID doesn't really happen for like months. Like you really don't start to feel like yourself for a couple of months. So, but I've been like great lately. I've been, I'm really blessed. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that I survived it. And I'm grateful and thankful that my husband survived it and my 3-year-old survived it. My 5.5-year-old never caught it. He never got it. So I'm pretty sure that's why we're pretty sure that he had it first and he was the carrier and then he gave it to the family. He's been healthy as a horse. Somebody ordered pizza and then they just never came to the door. I think I know those people too, because I don't think they're home right now. I think she's at work. I think she had it ordered or delivered to her house and she's not here. It's really dumb. How are you mad? So I didn't start to feel like not like completely better, but started to feel better, like, life, like alive again. I didn't start to feel anything until around I want to say about day 8 or 9 is when I started to feel like I was able to get up off the couch. I was able to go to the store. I was able to, move around. I didn't go to the actual stores until around day 14. And that was weird. I'm not going to lie. That was really weird. They don't talk about the isolation that you have when you're going through COVID. It really does screw with your brain a lot. Like, I ended up having a really hard time going back out in public. I want to put my hair back, but I'm trying to, like, give my hair a break. It's wet right now because I took a shower, but it's all, like, frizzy and crap. They don't really talk about the isolation that you go through. So when you go back out in public, it's, like, really weird. I had a really hard time with it. I don't like being out in public still. I have a really hard time with it. I basically do all my groceries through the Walmart curbside pickup. And I try not to go out too much. I try to stay home as much as I possibly can. It's a part of it, I guess. It's kind of like a psychological thing. It takes a while for your brain to get back into the mode of, doing things. And it's the whole psychological aspect of it too is that I kind of have a little bit of depression. Really just haven't felt like myself the past couple of weeks. I've been really down. I've been down, but like not. Oh, they finally came to the door because they called her. Why is she shutting the door again? My neighbors are so strange. Like all of them, they all have problems. There isn't a normal person here. I have really bad, just like don't really care about things. I'm very like just one mood every day. I basically am just like whatever. Don't really care about nothing. I don't really get excited about anything, which was something that I noticed too on Christmas Day. My dad ended up coming over and he brought me my presents for my grandparents and he brought me my presents for my mom and him. And one of the Christmas presents, it was really like exciting and I didn't get excited. And my mom and dad were kind of like looking at me weird because they didn't really understand. And that's when it hit me and that's when I was like, okay, there's something psychologically wrong. So it is normal. I did read up on it. They say that, going through depression or anxiety or, whatever, any psychological disorder after having COVID is completely normal. They said it does take a few months for your brain to kind of like get over it. It's kind of like having PTSD. It's like almost like a trauma to your brain. My take on it is, I think the reason why it happens is because when somebody gets sick, like when you have a common cold or you have the flu or whatever, it lasts for like a week, and you kind of just, you're getting better. Like you can feel it. And you just, it's different. with COVID, it's kind of like you don't really know when you're getting better. You don't know. And you think every day you're going to get better. So your brain's telling you to like eat certain things and drink certain things, do what you usually do to get yourself well, but it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. And every day you wake up and you're just still in the same symptoms and it just never goes away. And then like some days you'll feel better and you'll think, oh, finally, like I'm out of the dirt. Next day you feel like crap again. It really messes with your brain. And so it really makes your brain really confused. And nobody likes feeling like crap every day. Nobody wants to feel like they don't know what's going on with their bodies. So it drives you crazy. Like it literally drives you nuts. That's my take on it. It was really frustrating for me dealing with that every day. I was eating garlic. I was drinking orange juice. I was, eating my fruits and vegetables. I was doing everything I usually could, eating chicken noodle soup like it was going out of style. I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing and nothing helped. And it got to a point where I started to feel kind of like, like it's never going to go away. Like I would call my mom every day. I started getting scared because around day 6 or 7, I got the COVID cough, and that was horrible. It was so freaking annoying. I literally would get up in the morning and I would start coughing to the point where I couldn't breathe. I'd have to sit for like 10 or 15 minutes just in order to like regain myself. Like I'd have to I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that over a week ago. I could not do that. I could not go. I could not, even exhaling right now, it's still a little weird. Like there's still like a little bit of like, but it's not like it was. Like I could not get a full breath. I could not get a full breath. It was like, and I'd start coughing. That ended up making me go to the hospital, and I ended up going there, and that's when they told me, they said, it's called the COVID cough, but you're at the end of it. So you're at the end of COVID. So it only lasts for like a week or two, they said, and then it'll go away. So then I started freaking out because some of my friends said that they had it, it's been a year, and they said that they still have it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's never going to go away. Like, I'm never going to get you better. But it did. It ended up going away around like, let's see. So I got it around day 6 or 7. I want to say probably around day 10 or 11, the COVID cough went away. So my cough lasted for about a week. Maybe about like a week and a half. And that was hard. That was something else that kind of screwed me up. It was very, I was sick and tired of feeling sick. My brain and my body were like, can we just stop now? And it just got to a point, because I'm not the type of person that likes to sit around. I like to go out. I like to do things. I like to keep busy. I'm constantly thinking about something, all the time. And it was hard when I was sick because it took that part away from me. It kind of made me stop. It kind of made me sit and think a lot. But the positive thing that came out of it was I did have to think about a lot of things. And I did think about a lot of things in my life. And this is actually one of the things that came out of it. I just remember I ended up getting this is TMI, but I ended up getting the COVID diarrhea. So I ended up being on the toilet for like 2 or 3 days. It was horrible. But when you're in the bathroom, you have nothing else to do. So I was just like thinking, and I just started thinking about my life choices, and I started thinking about my life in general and how I act in my life and things that I do. And when you're sick and you have an illness, or you have, anything, they call it a disease. I don't call it a disease. I call it an illness. You really start to realize the things that you take for granted when you were well. People crack jokes about it. They're like, oh, when you have a cold, you take for granted that you could smell. It's different with COVID. It's a different thing because you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't really know. COVID's tricky. And so I just started thinking about like when I was well, the choices that I made, the things that I did, the way I acted, the things that I took for granted. Basically, to sum it up, the word was immaturity. And I realized over this past year, I wasted a lot of money on things that are totally not relevant. One of the things I was really mad at myself about was all the money that I wasted on my hair last year. I'm saying last year because it's going to be like New Year's in like 5 days, but yeah, I wasted a lot of a lot of money. I wasted a lot of time worrying about stupid crap, thinking about wanting to move every 5 minutes, wanting to have a new vehicle every 5 minutes. And I didn't realize, and I took for granted the fact that this truck that I do own right now, everybody doubted it when I first got it. Everybody was like, oh, it's not gonna last, like it's not gonna last, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept trucking along, you know, no pun intended, but I kept trucking, and my truck kept trucking, and we're going on almost 5 months now. And, you know, I've been actually, no, 6 months. We're going on half a year I've had this truck. And it's got me through a lot. It got me through a lot of hard times. It got me through, I think my husband's about to come upstairs. He always does. I gotta stop sitting like that. I have a hump in my back. My dad. Here he comes. He always does that every time I make a video. He pops in. But yeah, I just, you know, I took for granted a lot of things that when I was well that I didn't really, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's like facing your own mortality, and you just start to realize what's important and what's not. And I just started to really, I thought about that a lot. I thought about that a lot when I was sick, and it was refreshing when I started to feel better, because I knew my goals. I knew the things that I wanted to change. I knew the things that I wanted to fix this coming, you know, 2022. And I knew that it started with myself. There was nobody else that's going to be able to change the things in my life. It was going to be me. And so ever since I started feeling better, which I am, I just felt like a different person. I felt like a completely different person. I didn't feel like, it was like walking through fire and coming out alive, and walking through, you know, I'm still struggling with things. I'm still kind of going through it spiritually. I've been kind of going through it lately. It is something that does make you question your faith. I know it has nothing to do with my faith, and it's just something that's on this planet right now that is affecting everybody. But I was, you know, I'm blind to the fact that I don't see that my faith is what got me through it, and my Lord and Savior got me through it. And, you know, I'm one of the lucky ones. And, well, it's not even about luck. It's about, you know, God loving me enough and loving me to pull me through it and get me through it, and, you know, get me to the other side of being better again. And, but, you know, it's slow moving every day, and it's something that it's not just, you know, feeling sick. COVID is not something that it's just like, oh, I don't feel good, oh, I got body aches and pains, blah, blah. No, this is something that affects your whole entire well-being. It affects you mentally, it affects you spiritually, it affects you physically, it affects you psychologically, it affects you in every aspect of your life. My husband's going through it right now. My husband's going through stuff, and he said that he was looking stuff up, and he was trying to figure out what's going on with him. And we both realized that it affected us both psychologically, but sometimes I think that it affected us, and it's going to turn out to be a good thing. And it has turned out to be a good thing, because I'll tell you right here and right now, I am, how do I phrase this? I've never been so grateful for my own life, and to be grateful for my body, and to be grateful for the fact that I was born with no underlying health conditions that I know of. I don't have diabetes. I don't have, you know, asthma like my husband does. I don't have high blood pressure like my parents do. I don't have any of that, to the point where my own body got struck down by a disease, by a virus that was like just horrible right now to a lot of people, and has killed off a lot of people, that my body was strong enough to be like, we got this, and fought it off. And yet I blossomed, I bloomed through it. And that's God. That's God being with me through all of that. And I know that was God. Now, you can't tell my emotions that right now. My emotions are dead. I don't know why, but it's not about feeling when it comes to your relationship with God. It comes with knowing, and it comes with your heart and your faith with him and your relationship with him, that you don't need to feel something in order to know that it was him. And I know that it was him, because out of all of this, I've still bloomed and blossomed. I'm still continuing to blossom, and I'm still continuing to learn more things about myself day after day after day. So I guess I should say that I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I got COVID, but I am grateful and I'm thankful that I survived. And I'm grateful that I wasn't, and I didn't have to be on a respirator, and that my husband didn't have to be on a respirator, and my son didn't have to be on a respirator, and we are here and we're alive. And I wish that whatever inside of me that fought it off, that I could give it to the people that have it right now, that I could give it to the people that are struggling, that are laying in hospital beds. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to. No. The people that are in hospital beds right now that are, they're struggling and they're going through it, because I know what they're going through. I went through it, but this is something they're going through it worse because of underlying health conditions. I wish that I could do that. I wish that I could just touch somebody and be like, take what I have and, get them through it. But I can't. And there's so many people that lost their lives last year. There's so many people that lost their lives the year before, in the past 2 years, due to complications from it. And it's sad. But it makes me more grateful and blessed and thankful that my body was strong enough to walk through that fire. And one thing I'll say is this: for anybody right now that is watching this video, and if you have COVID right now, and you're like me, and you don't have any underlying health conditions, but you just feel like crap, the one thing that I did eat a lot of, even though I couldn't taste it, was garlic. And it has to be organic garlic. Like, it has to be like cloves of garlic. I would chop up like 3 or 4 cloves, and I would put it in whatever I was eating, soup, lots of soup, ramen noodles, or I would buy bouillon cubes and I would use that, and then I would put the garlic in with like some hot sauce or whatever, and I would drink it. Garlic is God's gift to nature, to all of us. It is literally what is the word? Not antioxidant. But it just cures so many different things when it comes to illnesses and things like that. And I believe in my heart that the garlic is actually what helped push my family through a lot of the symptoms and prevented it from getting worse. I swear by garlic. I swear by garlic. It's amazing. So get yourself some garlic, unless you're allergic to it. But get yourself some garlic and use it in whatever you're eating. It literally, you can't taste it because obviously you're not gonna be able to taste, but just know that it's going through your body. And that's the one thing I wanted to say too. This video is like 25 minutes long, but don't give up on yourself just because you can't taste and because you can't smell your food or whatever. Don't just stop and just give up, because the virus will take you down. And know that whatever you're eating, whatever the food that you're putting in your body, garlic, orange juice, whatever it is that you can, take, it's building strength for your body to fight off this virus, because your body needs all the nutrients. And I can't stress this enough. Water is so important when you have COVID. Like, literally, it just is amazing. Like, it stopped my cough. It would stop me from coughing so much. It made me feel more energized. And peeing in general, you're basically urinating out all the bacteria, and that's all you're doing. You're just flushing your body out. I'll tell you this, after I was done with COVID, my skin was like, it's still like really shiny. My skin looks great, minus the right there, that's from PMS, but my skin looked great. I was like, wow, what is going on? But, so yeah, I just wanted to make this video, let you guys know what's going to be going on with me for the past couple weeks and that, and I just wanted to document this to prove that I've had it and I've gotten through it. So that's been my life lately. And now I'm about ready to go to Walmart and pick up a grocery thingy from curbside because I still don't like going to the stores. All right, peace out, you guys.